Omarion Hampton is an elite running back prospect in the 2025 NFL Draft. He may be overshadowed at times by superstar Ashton Jeanty, but as far as college-level running backs go, Hampton has been undeniably elite over the last few seasons. If given the right opportunity, Omarion Hampton can showcase his ability as a three-down back at the NFL level. He's a fantastic prospect and should be considered a lock for the first round in most Dynasty rookie drafts. Let's turn to the film to find out why. So for our first group of plays here, we're going to go back in time to 2023 in UNC's game against Clemson. Obviously, this is a pretty top-tier matchup in terms of competition, so can't really question the guys Hampton is going against. We're just going to see talent on talent on these running plays we have from this game, and then we're going to get into the game against Virginia from 2024. So unfortunately in this game against Clemson, UNC's offensive line was barely able to create any running lanes for Hampton. There were a lot of times where he was just stuffed in the backfield because there was no lane for him to hit, and the offensive line really just failed him as a whole this game. So this is unfortunately going to be one of those times. It's going to be a run to the right side, and there should be a hole for Hampton to hit, but none of the offensive linemen blocked the linebacker up field number 0, and Hampton's going to have to make a lane for himself, run over the linebacker, and get downfield. Hampton is very fast, but he's also very physical. He has that rare combination of both that we see in some of these really good running back prospects, which of course is a great running back class. Here's Hampton right here. Play starts. There's the handoff, and right here, one of these two linemen should be able to get to block this linebacker to where Hampton hits this hole right here. He should be gone. Unfortunately, they are not able to do that, and he gets through, and here's the contact right here. Hampton should go down, but he's not your average running back. Even though the lineman can't get there, I mean, they're even falling down back here. Hampton trucks the linebacker over, goes downfield, puts the angle on the defensive back, and is off to the races. What a play. Look at that speed, but unfortunately, ball gets punched out right at the end. We'll see it there by Nate Wiggins, of course, because this was 2023. And sure, yeah, you can harp on the ball security, but the truth is, it was just a fantastic play from the defensive back, and we shouldn't take away what Hampton did right in this clip, which was truck over a defender and put an angle on the defensive back and fly downfield for what should have been a huge gain, but unfortunately the ball came out. So we're going to see the replay here. And watch number 0, the linebacker. That's who Hampton's going to truck over and who should be blocked, but isn't. The offensive lineman cannot get to him. Hampton bulldozes him over, puts the angle on number 1, and Nate Wiggins, number 2, is going to punch the ball out here, but what a run nonetheless from Hampton. This next play here is going to be a run straight up the gut from Hampton, and this play, the offensive line actually does a pretty good job, to their credit, of creating a crease for Hampton to get through, and we're going to see this better on the second clip, but Hampton is going to do what we like to call get skinny, which is when there's a pretty small crease, he's able to contort his body through, still at a pretty good speed, and then fly through the hole. It's a really good trait for running backs to have when there's not a ton of space through the offensive lineman. He's able to contort himself through and still pick up a huge gain like we're going to see here. This is going to be a massive chunk play for the Tar Heels. So watch Hampton in the backfield now next to Drake May. He's going to take it right up the gut, and we'll see exactly how that turns out. Hampton takes it right here, really congested at the line of scrimmage. You can see all these bodies right here. I mean, all the linebackers are engaged. There's only a couple people on the defense not in this pile of guys right here. But Hampton, contact balance, finds his way through, puts the angle on the defensive back, and picks up a huge chunk play when the Tar Heels really needed it most. So big play there for Hampton, and we'll see the replay. Watch him get skinny through that really small hole. And this is a big trait for NFL running backs. And right here, look at this crease. I mean, this is really, really small. It's basically just his body width is how wide the crease is. So he's able to fit himself through and pick up a really nice gain. And look at that balance. Staying on his feet. Good gain. Next play here, really a smart play from the Tar Heels. They're going to have this blocker come across as if Hampton is taking it to the right side. He's not, but having that lead blocker in front go to the right instead of where Hampton's actually running, that's going to make the linebackers think it's to the right, and they're all going to go this way, away from where the play is actually developing, which is to the left side between the tackle and the guard here. Since these linebackers have gone to where the lead blocker was, which was the fake, there's going to be nobody back here, and it's just going to be this four-man front. I know I kind of critiqued the UNC offensive line in the first clip, but to their credit, they do a fantastic job here. This tackle walls off the edge defender on the left. Then we're going to see this guard center just destroy any interior defense on the right, and there's going to be a big hole for Hampton to hit, and we see exactly what he can do when there is a massive hole through the offensive line. He's going to take this way downfield, break 3 tackles, and go all the way into the end zone. He is a true home run threat, and profiles as an elite 3-down back on the next level, which is going to be huge for Dynasty Fantasy Football. But let's start the play. Right here you can see lead blocker moving to the right. These linebackers shifting this way ever so slightly. But then as the play develops, right here, I mean, look at this tackle, setting the edge, and then the interior of the line, creating a massive hole for Hampton to get through, which really creates a huge gain here. And then look at that. Breaks the tackle here, and then breaks another tackle, stays on the sideline into the end zone. That contact balance and that ability to just run through arm tackles just makes him a huge yards after contact threat at the next level. And that ability to gain extra yards gives him a really high floor in fantasy football. When he's given a hole in the offensive line, he is a huge home run threat against any defense. So Omarion Hampton looked at as one of the top few prospects in this star-studded running back class in 2025. Here's the replay. You can see that huge crease right there and breaks the tackle. 54, I think that's Charter Jr., breaks it again around the ankles, and nobody there to stop him. This is just another run up the gut for Hampton. I think it's important to note that this was his second straight carry on the goal line. When UNC was inside the 5, they knew what they had to do. Give it to their bruising back who can truck over a defender, who also has insane contact balance. We're going to see that. Obviously, they give him a lot of goal line carries, which can make him super valuable in fantasy football. But just as for this play, we're going to see a defender get on his back pretty much early, and he's going to completely shake him off and truck his way into the end zone for a touchdown, while he's still stumbling from that defender climbing on top of him pretty much. We're going to see how that plays off, but that ability to shake off tackles in the backfield when he's hit before he even crosses the line of scrimmage is something a lot of NFL teams are going to like come draft time in April, and that's why I think he's going to be drafted maybe a bit higher than a lot of people expect, but we'll see exactly how that's going to look here. We're going to see 8 in the box, and right here, number 11 basically jumps on top of Hampton, but he shakes him off and still trucks his way into the end zone. We'll see the replay. That was fantastic. The balance to be able to shake him off, a defensive lineman, a D-tackle like that. And ball snapped, sheds the block, but sheds the tackler into the end zone, touchdown. This next play here, we're going to highlight the acceleration of Omarion Hampton. It's going to start off looking like more of a run to the left, with a lot of the offensive line shifting their blocks, pushing left against this defensive line. But Hampton's going to throw out a crazy cutback, flat up the middle, and we're going to see how fast he can go from 0 to 60, moving north to south, just flying downhill and cutting through this Virginia defense like a hot knife through butter. He's going to get a ton of yards in just a few seconds, showing how fast he can get down the field. And we're going to see that. Hampton to the left, and then he's going to cut back right here, and look how fast he gets upfield. That's exactly what you want to see out of a future NFL draft prospect. That was really quick acceleration. We're going to see it one more time here on that cutback. Cuts back to his right, shakes off a couple tackles, good run. Next, we're going to see a delayed handoff from the Tar Heels, and what that does is the linebackers don't immediately know it's a run, so they're still going to be playing back in a zone coverage, giving Hampton more space when he first gets the ball to when they finally start playing the run. But this defensive tackle here is going to push this guard really far back into the backfield on a bull rush. Hampton is going to have to deal with that. He's going to just cut up to his right, dealing with that obstacle in the backfield, and turning it into a huge play. In what could have been, to a lot of running backs, a negative play, Hampton cuts it upfield and is able to get a lot of yards out of something that could have been a blown-up play in the first place. So we'll see that here. Delayed handoff, and you can see how far number 90 gets into the backfield, pushes this guard way back. But Hampton's going to cut up, make a really nice job of this with a lot of green grass in front of him. Look at that. And we'll see on the replay without any stopping, but then takes on a tackler, just crashes into him with that physicality. And we'll see it. Hampton, number 9 in the bull rush, and there's the cut. Just in and out, really fluid, and then runs over the defender. This next play here, we're going to see Hampton lined up in the backfield. He's going to go out like we were out and then flip it back in on kind of a crosser, more like a slant out of the backfield if you want to view it as that. And this is the linebacker he's going to be matched up with, who goes to guard him more over this way, while number 20 here takes the crosser over the middle that's going to develop. And this crosser is going to spread out the defense and allow the quarterback to hit the running back in the middle after the defense is spread out. You're going to see more what I mean after the play starts. But then Hampton is just going to break 2 tackles. He gets sandwiched between 2 defenders and kind of just shakes it off without really any effort. And he's going to turn it into an even bigger gain. And some running backs can just do that. They just have that quality where they can break through 2 tackles at once and rush for a ton more yards. That contact balance is unbelievable, and we're going to see it right here. So watch Hampton out of the backfield right here. And you can see number 20 flying up to take this crosser in the man-to-man coverage with the 1 deep safety back here. And the linebacker is about to get burnt on this route when Hampton breaks it back inside. Breaks it in, wide open, and just shrugs off 2 tacklers there. Shrugs off another one, diving forward for even more yards. I mean, that is an elite level play from a bruiser like Omarion Hampton. So huge play, and we'll see it again in the replay. You'll get to watch that route. Hampton, number 28. They're just snapping, he's going to split out and then cut back in on the route. Nice stuff. And then just break those tackles. Unreal. Stiff arm. Big play. Here, UNC is again going to use Hampton's physicality to their benefit. They're going to have this receiver motion to the left, so he can be another blocker whenever Hampton swings out, ready for this pass. They give it to him behind the line of scrimmage, and he's going to have a couple blockers out in front, but really he's going to do most of this himself, breaking multiple tackles for a huge gain, and we're going to again see that break tackle ability. That's going to get him a lot of yards and a lot of production at the next level, and NFL teams are going to see that, and they're going to draft him early. So watch this play from Hampton, as the blocks don't really shape up too well here on the screen either, so we'll see exactly how he's able to navigate through that. There's the motion, pass to Hampton, and shakes a tackle, breaks another tackle around his legs, and a really good yards after the catch there and through contact. See one more time, there's the receiver in motion, dishes out to Hampton, and breaks 1 tackle, breaks another, and to the sideline. Really good stuff. This next play, we're going to see a run to the left from Hampton, and this offensive line does a really nice job sealing off the interior defenders to the right, giving Hampton a pretty nice hole up the middle. He's able to push through some of the contact, but then when he takes on a defender at the second level, he's able to truck through him and get a ton of more yards, pushing his team into the red zone, giving them a great chance to score and to extend their lead over Virginia. Not much needs to be said about this play, just a good hole and an absolute masterclass from Hampton trucking over the defender and creating a ton of extra yards for himself and this UNC offense. We'll go and see how this play turns out. And right here, you can see really nice hole. Look at number 68, just walling off the defense there. Tackle does a nice job as well. And then when he meets a defender right here, boom! Right over him like a freight train inside the 5. Again here, just like in the Clemson game, this is going to be Hampton's second straight carry on the goal line. He is that goal line back that you know is getting the ball if they're inside the 5-yard line. Similar to how when you watch the Ravens get inside the 5, you know it's going to Derrick Henry. You watch UNC, you know it's going to Omarion Hampton if they get inside the 5 because he's a physical bruising back that can push himself into the end zone and is a huge weapon for this offense. And any NFL offense he will go to in April will use him the same way most likely. It's going to be a quick little toss out to the left where they have the numbers. They have a couple tight ends out blocking there. He's going to run through any arm tackles that come his way. Hampton, quick pitch, and nobody's going to bring him down into the end zone. Easy touchdown. This next play is a really good play call offensively from UNC. They're going to have all these receivers run deeper routes, which take away a lot of the defenders in this area. They go downfield to defend the receivers. Hampton starts to block on the edge here, but then he's going to flip out, ready for the ball on the swing. They're going to give it to him, and he's going to break 2 defenders' ankles, make them fall to the ground. That's a huge play, and we're going to see that he's not only powerful, but he is very elusive in open space as well, which makes him a complete package as a 3-down back at the NFL level. Defenders go downfield with the receivers. Hampton starting to block. You can see how much green grass is out in front of him when the defense starts flying downfield. Gives it to Hampton and makes 1 defender miss. Boom! Another boom. They're both on the ground, and then really nice gain, making 2 defenders look silly. And we'll see again on the replay. That edge defender getting up just at the very end after getting his ankles broken. We'll see just how here. Hampton out there. Number 5 doesn't stand a chance. Boom. Jump cut. Jump cut again. Extra yards. Really nice. Again, we focus on a lot of the physical bruising running style of Hampton, but we're also going to go back to this elusive style he has here. It's going to look like a run up to the middle, but then he's going to bounce it out at the last second when there's no lanes up there. It's going to look like they're doing a nice job setting the edge on the left here, but a defender does pop out at the last second, and Hampton has to run through that contact on his way to the end zone. Hands it off. Nothing up the middle. He's going to bounce it outside, shakes off the defender around his ankles, and flies into the end zone. Look at that speed. Now just taking a look at some of Omarion Hampton's advanced stats on PFF. We can see he was one of the most used running backs in the nation, fourth in the nation in carries with 281, so he can be that 3-down back as he was used. And pretty efficient as well, 5.9 yards per carry, which is pretty good. And then 1,660 rushing yards, which is fantastic. Along with those 15 rushing touchdowns, only 1 fumble, so some really good base stats there. And some pretty solid grades, 86.5 offensively, 88.8 in the run, and then a 90.1 fumble grade. So he's holding onto the ball pretty well and doing some good stuff while it's in his hands. I should also note that this is among running backs with at least 50 carries this year, just to eliminate any outliers. And then yards after contact per attempt, he's up there as well at 24, which isn't a bad ranking, at 4.35, so he's getting those yards after contact. Missed tackles forced, Hampton is at 12 in the entire country, which is really high with those 67. And as you can see, it's pretty close up here at the top, except for Ashton Jeanty, of course. But yeah, pretty good amount of missed tackles forced there. 45 runs of 10 plus. So the stats do back up how good he has been. Then moving back into 2023, a year ago, Hampton was really good then too. 1,500 yards on the dot, another 15 rushing touchdowns. As you can see, he had 3 fumbles last year, so we cut that on the number of fumbles, which is pretty good. I think he increased in yards after contact per attempt as well, so getting a lot better in a lot of these statistics. Around the same missed tackles forced. So comparing 2023 to 2024, Hampton did improve in a lot of those areas. So just wrapping things up here, I think the general consensus on Omarion Hampton is that he has a complete skill set and has every tool necessary to be a 3-down back in the NFL, meaning he's on track to be very productive in fantasy football. So if you have a high pick in your rookie draft, do not hesitate to draft Omarion Hampton. He's extremely physical, surprisingly elusive, and can cut up a defense if given the chance. He's a very dangerous player and a home run threat, like a lot of the best running backs in the NFL are. There are several running back needy teams in the draft this year, and obviously, in terms of draft prospects, Ashton Jeanty is the best of the bunch, but a lot of people are forgetting Hampton, who honestly has made a great case as the RB2 for this draft class, the second best running back in the class, which, as a reminder, is absolutely loaded with talent at the running back position. I have no doubt that if Hampton is put in the right situation, his skill set will translate beautifully to the NFL level, and he will be a lead running back for what will hopefully become a very good NFL rushing offense wherever he ends up landing in April. In terms of fantasy scoring, like we said, he's a home run threat. He can make a lot of big plays, but he also has the physicality to be a goal line back, meaning he's going to be getting a lot of those touches inside the 10, inside the 5-yard line, meaning a lot of rushing touchdowns should be coming his way at the professional level. Also, his ability to break tackles is going to lead to a lot of extra yards after contact, giving you a lot more fantasy points in that area as well. So if you're wondering if he's a good prospect for your Dynasty team, do not worry. He is going to be fantastic if you give him the right chance at the NFL level. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Joe, and this is Fantasy Trading Room.